Jason, we're doing episode 2 of a podcast.
We sure as shit are, my dude. I talked to you like a camp counselor that time. I feel like I sounded like a camp counselor, but like a very aggressive, happy camp counselor.
Yes, we are. We are having fun today.
We sure as shit are gonna have a great time, my fucking dudes.
We're gonna have so much fun.
You guys want to learn how to make a fire out of a Kleenex box, you dumb motherfuckers?
You just buy a lighter and set that on fire.
Yeah, this is not a very good science camp.
Yeah, dude. So we're doing episode 2. It's time. It's here, and we're ready to go.
Yo, it's about that time to bring forth the episode.
Yes. Okay, so
I should rap on all episodes, right? Like, find some way to rap on all episodes.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, in another sense, I'm extremely opposed to that, but I want you to live your true self, and I want you to be your best self. So,
what are the two senses? What is the sense in which you do and do not support it? Describe these senses to me.
Jason, everyone knows the two senses are smell and spidey sense. Those are the two senses.
That's why all of us get those weird tingles all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like when you like someone and you get like butterflies in your stomach, that's your spidey sense.
I was gonna ask, is ASMR your spidey sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Peter's getting tingles from like Mysterio destroying London.
Yeah, he's like, he gets the tingles and he's like, ooh, okay.
He's like, oh, I like this.
Maybe he's not so bad after all. That's why I was about to like start spitting out Far From Home spoilers, but I won't do that.
I feel like the intersection of people who will listen to us and people who have seen Spider-Man Far From Home within a month of it coming out.
I mean,
it's not even a Venn diagram; it's a circle.
It's a full circle. Yeah,
it's just one circle.
But yeah, how's your morning? It's still a little early where I am, but it's, you know, I got my almond milk hot chocolate in my Spider-Man mug, and I'm, you know, sun shining.
Fucking living in Boys Town, Chicago. God, yeah, you are like a conservative Republican's worst nightmare.
Oh God, I really am, dude. You should have seen it when it was like Pride Month. It's ridiculous here. Like it's
I bet.
Like it's ridiculous in the absolute best way possible. It like you know, like the Pride section of Target. If you did that everywhere in Chicago for 31 or 30 days or whatever, like, man, yeah.
I didn't even know Target had a Pride section. What do they sell in the Pride section?
They sell like clothes and little accessories and like sunglasses and like wristbands and whatever, and it's all rainbow stuff.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, my morning has been solid. Right now, I have downstairs, and I will need to adjust the time on it after we record. I have some Pischetti sauce slowly simmering.
Oh, is that why you wanted this podcast to be 45 minutes instead of an hour?
No. The sauce is only going for like 2 hours right now, but I want to see if I can bring that thing up to a solid 3.
Okay.
Really let those flavors just kind of fuck.
Really let those flavors just burn the bottom of that pan.
Not if you keep the heat low enough, my dude.
Yeah.
I love the expression "my dude." You know this of me, but have we like talked about how much I love my dude?
We haven't talked about it explicitly, but I've noticed it about you. I've slowly noticed that I am like co-opting a lot of things that you say.
Which is fine because I'm co-opting things I heard on other podcasts.
So it's the same. We're the same. There like one of the things that someone like asked me about when I said it recently was when I said that tracks.
Oh my God. That is very much that is a me thing that doesn't come from any podcast that I'm consciously aware of.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like someone was telling me something about themselves and I was like, yeah, that tracks. And they were like, that tracks? And I was like, yeah, like that, you know, it tracks with what I know about you. It makes sense. And they're like, oh, I've just never heard another person say that before. And I was like, well, obviously you're not friends with Jason Pauly.
That's true. And you know what? I'm going to say most people, that's the case.
Yeah, most people on this earth are not our friends.
Which is a real bummer because I love making new friends.
Yeah.
I made friends with a friend's friend the other day.
That's the best.
I was waiting to give her parking pass back for her building because I accidentally left it in my car when I saw her. and she took a while to get to me. So I was just like in my cuffed jeans and nice button down like short sleeve shirt, was just like sitting on the roof of my car reading a book waiting for her. And her friend told me I have serious bi energy, and it is the greatest thing anyone has ever said to me.
You know, I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again. I think that is like one of the highest compliments anyone can give you.
Yeah,
I think, like I said it, and I was like, man, it's like a long life. It's a lifelong goal of mine to exert as much bi energy as possible.
Just having that energy about you is, I don't know, it makes me feel so good about myself to hear someone from like the LGBT community being like, you seem like you're like adjacent to us, and I was like, oh, yeah. thank you.
Someone being like, hey, you could be.
Yeah, it's just sort of the thing of like, even though I do not know this person at all, just the fact that they have given me validation, like just because of the fact that they are gay, I already find them cooler than me. And so to have them be like, hey, you're doing all right, is just very validating.
Man, that is like supremely like simultaneously like, not to get like ridiculously political, but like it's stupid that it is political, but like it's a really cool generational thing that I feel like, well, not even just generational, but something that's just happened in the last like 10 years where like people our age at least, and definitely like younger than us, like it's like seeing someone who is like LGBTQIA plus whatever, you see someone of that community and you're like, fuck, that person's so much cooler than I am. Like that is something that like if it, like our parents potentially at like when they were our age, they'd be like, that's a little weird, that's a little strange, that's a little off-putting, but we're like, I want to be that. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I think I think the closest thing to anything like that is sort of the thing of like the stereotype of like a woman who's like, well, my hairdresser's gay and he said I looked great today, so I'm feeling good about myself.
Yeah. Well, that's the I have a minority friend like persuasion of like I can't be racist because I have a black friend. I can't be against gay people because my hairdresser's gay.
Yeah, literally, it's like, you know, the person I pay is gay, and that's what makes me okay.
Yeah, that should be on like a T-shirt that my mom accidentally buys on Facebook.
What do you mean accidentally?
Well, you know, she gets impulsive with Facebook purchases.
Impulse is not an accident. Impulse is a bad choice, but it is a choice.
You never know. Oops, click. Oops, order. Oops, types in a card number with oops with every number. Oops.
I'm trying to think if I've never made an accidental purchase to my knowing. Oh, I tell you what, the closest I made to an accidental purchase is because my brain is made of poopy doo-doo, and I don't think. I accidentally ordered the wrong thing at a restaurant. I was out with my family and a couple friends after we'd seen a concert, and I'd ordered my my main course, and you can get a side with it, and one of the sides was sweet potato mash, and I was like, oh, like mashed potatoes, but it's a little sweet. I don't like sweet potatoes, and so when it comes out orange, I'm like, are you Of course it was that, and I'm mad at me. I'm mad right now, but it's at me, not the restaurant, because it's not their fault. They said it pretty plainly.
Yeah, you idiot.
Whoa, okay. I'm allowed to rag on me, but you gotta be a little bit more supportive.
Hey, whoa, if you want to rag on me, you gotta be me.
Oh,
that's the rule.
I've been meaning to tell you about this because it's been burning a hole in my brain and causing smoke to come out my body for the past couple of days now.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is the thing that you've been saying that you wanted to tell me.
Yes.
But can we hit pause real quick, because I totally skipped over some housekeeping I wanted to do in the beginning of the episode.
We can absolutely do that, but the smoke is filling my room right now.
That's okay. It's probably just from your pasta sauce. It's probably not.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Shit.
Okay, so a couple things that I wanted to do really quick. First of all, I wanted to thank our very near and dear friend Snow Ellett for letting us use their song Car. It's very, very good. Go check them out on Bandcamp. I will make sure to leave something in the description to that effect. Also, so I wrote this down in my notes just as like a quick aside because I thought it was funny. It's kind of like a follow up to something we talked about last week. It's very quick, but it's like, remember how I was like, the Game Grumps should not start a podcast.
Uh-huh.
So the Game Grumps have started a podcast.
Wait, since we recorded?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was I've willed it into the universe on accident. Sorry. It wasn't like a formal podcast, but it was like a bunch of, because they do streams, so it was a bunch of like pre-stream Q&A sessions all mashed together into one podcast. And it was like, but it's called Q&A podcast number 1, so I'm assuming there will be more actual Q&A podcasts. Mm-hmm. So they started a podcast in the amount of time that it took us to say that they should not start a podcast.
So what you're telling me is we have the power to will things into existence by wishing them not to happen.
I mean, dude, when me and James were doing Capes of the Round Table, which was like for those who don't know, it was like a superhero show where we just talked comics and stuff. But like one of the first episodes we did was why a Deadpool movie should happen. And then after that, the test footage got leaked and then they confirmed a Deadpool movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's my power of influence. I'm an influencer, Jason. I don't know what to tell you.
Look at you with all your high and mighty power. You hit 2.5K followers on the gram, and all of a sudden you got this big fucking chip on your shoulder.
That is true. Yeah, so speaking of podcasts, I was recently a guest on the podcast of Steel with a Mr. Luke Bug, aka the Geek of Steel. One of the, straight up like the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Like even just knowing him for like literally a very short amount of time, like well, no, not really, because like, you know, we've communicated over Instagram and whatever. He was one of the first people to share my art on Instagram back in like July of 2017. So, you know, we've been aware of each other for about 2 years, but we actually kind of met and whatever over Skype, and chatted for a little bit about, you know, art and the potential for a Justice League animated reunion and you know, the state of art on Instagram and a bunch of other fun stuff that I care about and maybe you will care about too. So if you want to go check that out, I highly recommend it. Just go to, I believe it's just thegeekofsteel.com, but regardless, I'll make sure to put a link in the description to that as well. So you can go check out the podcast and listen to the episode I was in. I believe I'm in episode 16. So look for that.
Well, I will have you know, I also was a guest on another podcast recently.
Oh, were you? Mm.
Yes, I was a guest of one Ira Glass on the new NPR podcast Idle Chatter.
Number 1, I hate you. Number 2, don't do this bit. I don't want it.
I don't know what you mean by bit. I don't know what you mean by bit. Justin,
I know
if there's
that line
one
can be blurred for you, but
thing that you understand about me is that if I ever do a bit, and I don't do bits, but if I did, I would commit. And I would never surrender. Like how I would never, ever, ever admit to the bit that Hosier is not actually my brother, even though he very much is my brother, even though that's because it's not a bit.
You should get a shirt made that says commit to the bit, but don't admit.
Fuck, that's so good.
You're welcome.
That's so good.
You can have that one for free. Psych, I want royalties.
Damn it. We could just, you know what we should do? We should save this episode for years from now when our podcast has exploded to the highest of heights. And then we can sell that on like TeePublic or something.
Yeah, or we could just sell it on TeePublic or something.
That's true. I would buy it. I would buy it if it came in like a nice V. Do they sell graphic Vs?
Yeah.
Good.
I think. I have no idea. I'm assuming so. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was super fun being on the podcast, and Luke was kind enough to say that he was gonna, you know, help us out a little bit by he let me like promote this podcast on that podcast, so a little bit of cross promotion fun. So yeah, I want to say just thank you, Luke, for letting me do that on your thing.
Thank you, Luke. I should also say, as the CFO of this of Boycast Incorporated.
Yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night. But yeah, and you know, if you ever want me back on, I've already told you this, but if you want me back on, I'm willing to come back on. So keep me posted. But yeah,
Justin, you're such a whore.
Well,
I love you,
That
but you're
seems like-
such a whore.
That feels like an escalation.
You're such a whore.
Yeah, I heard you the first 12 times, you maniac.
I just leaned forward to giggle and my nose bumped against the microphone.
Oh, you booped the mic, you adorable moron.
Well, I booped the pop filter.
Yeah. It's a boop filter now. Booped out, filtered out your boop.
Yeah, that's nice because I hope the audience can at least feel the boop. Actually,
Yeah.
no, I don't. There's nothing worse than a strange man just kind of touching you somewhere on the body with the tip of his nose.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. It's almost as worse as like touching teeth, if one were to say touching teeth.
Don't just say things like that because my whole body reacts to it.
Do you not remember that was something we said in the last episode?
Touching teeth. Oh yeah, but that's because of the teeth on my hands, which are very different.
Yeah.
It's very different than the teeth that are in my mouth, and also the teeth on my hands are very different than the teeth on the inside of my skull that is poking my brain.
You know what? If Luke is listening to this, he's probably very happy that we immediately followed up his very nice like shout out with like very cringy like, you know, strange men touching you with their noses, and let's reach in someone's mouth and touch their teeth.
And also me calling you a whore a bunch of times.
Yeah, 3 times for being nice to another person.
Luke does seem like a nice man. I don't know enough about anything to be on anyone else's podcast.
Yeah. I know just enough about myself that I can talk about that for like 5 minutes, but that's really it. That's all I know in this world.
Justin, can I tell you about the thing that has been filling my room with smoke?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, please indulge me with your silly stories.
Okay. I have 14 free tickets to go see a pre-screening of Hobbs and Shaw on Tuesday. I don't know how I put myself in this position in my life. I don't know why me. I don't know why me, but I have them.
Jason.
I have 14 tickets.
Jason, I need you to calm down. Why do you have so many tickets to what is probably going to be the worst movie of 2019?
I don't know. I think I might have just seen the worst movie of 2019.
But in all sincerity, why? How did you come into those tickets?
I mean, the real answer to the story isn't that funny. But
I bought them.
I bought all of them with my own Christian money.
I spent $200 on these tickets just for the bit.
It's weird. Like, my brother works at a skateboarding shop, and they just sent the company 7 free ticket with a +1 to a pre-screening of Hobbs and Shaw. So effectively, I have 14 tickets to see Hobbs and Shaw this Tuesday, and I'm going, and I'm bringing people, but I don't know why I've been blessed with this.
Did your brother give those to you?
Yeah, he's just like, he just mentioned at work, like, yeah, I got a bunch of these Hobbs and Shaw tickets. I'm not gonna use them. Do you want them? And I just sort of was like, yeah, okay.
Oh, so this is your fault. This is not as fun and quirky of a story as I thought.
I panicked.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
I mean,
you do like Fast and Furious is like a guilty pleasure movie for you though.
Oh yeah,
like that series is something that you actually enjoy watching.
Well, it's not that guilty because at the end of the day, the movies are about family.
Yeah, family.
It's a movie about family, and that's what I appreciate. It's a family movie.
Yeah, that's why it's called Family and Furious.
I made a joke when I went to go see a movie yesterday, and the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw came on, and
it's such a garbage trailer.
They're all bad. Each one of the trailers is terrible, but I leaned over to my friend and I was just like, as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is like with one hand grabbing a chain that's attached to a helicopter, the other grabbing the pickup truck that's not falling off the cliff right now, even though it should be. And I just leaned over to my friend Robbie and I'm like, you see, that's what I like about this movie. It's a family movie. It's a movie about family.
You lean over and you're just like, fuck yeah.
I also appreciate that they're doing a weird like Moana sequence apparently in the movie.
Dude, there's like so much happening that I don't like. I mean, I'm just glad they are exploring those themes of family. Like it's so funny, right? Because like even in fucking Hobbs and Shaw, it's like, and here is your grandmother or whatever, and we're gonna delve into your heritage. And I'm like, what is like? And then fucking Idris Elba coming out and being like, I'm the Black Superman. I'm like, that's a problematic line. for like several
Yeah.
reasons. But like, good on him for, you know, getting that, for securing the bag, as the kids would say.
There are so few trailers that I've seen in my life where I, like, the first time I saw them, actually said out loud to the trailer, "Oh, fuck you."
Yeah.
And the first Hobbs and Shaw one is that, because the first Hobbs and Shaw trailer opens up with that thing where Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like, looks at the camera and he's like, "I'm what you call a can of whoop ass," and then he does that,
my
and then
God,
it fucking
dude.
the one that made me say "go fuck yourself" was Jason Statham's "I'm what you call a champagne problem." Fuck you. Fuck movies. We're not allowed to make them anymore.
I worry sometimes, right? Like when I put art into the world, that it's not going to be something that people are receptive to because it's not where I want it to be. And then I look at the Fast and Furious franchise and I'm like, it's probably better than this, so it's fine.
Yeah, those movies, weirdly,
They sure do get made.
they sure do get made, and they sure do get paid, baby.
Yeah.
Fucking Furious 7, or whatever the fuck it was called, is like of the top 10 movies of all time financially.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
it
think
still
it's-
is because
No,
there's
you're right, it's
there
not.
have been a million Marvel movies since then, but
Disney has 8 of the top 10, and the other 2 are James Cameron. What the fuck world?
well, technically now Disney has 9 of the top 10
what?
because Avatar is Disney. Fox is Disney now.
Oh my! I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Fox wouldn't have had to sell if James Cameron had just made his fucking Avatar movies already?
Honestly, like maybe.
Here's
don't know.
my hot take. Fucking the new Avatar movies are not going to be successful like the studio seems to think they will.
I think it depends. I think, you know, like CG and motion capture and all that shit has come such a long way in the past 10 years that like James Cameron does have the opportunity to like, because he's always on the fucking, like, as much as you want to say like, oh, Avatar's bland, whatever, but like it is like story wise, but visually it was a fucking like marker in like the development of visual effects for its time, and like he's always on top of like, you know, the most innovative, creative, and like whatever visual effects. So like I think it's he has the opportunity to make this really, really cool, and then kind of let that carry him for like when the movies come out every other year. But like if this was a thing where like Avatar 2 had come out like 2 years after the first Avatar, I don't think it would have done nearly as well because like because there's not much you can do in terms of advancement of tech. But like if he's pulled a Tolkien and he's gotten like, you know, because Tolkien like after The Hobbit spent like 20 years world building and then he came out with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So like if he does something like that where like he's been working his ass off on the story, which he has been because it's all he's been fucking doing, like I'm curious. I like my interest is piqued. I'm curious to see what they do.
Did I tell you that my friend Adam he worked briefly on Avatar 2?
No, I don't think you told me that.
He was like a pre-production intern. He was like in the offices beforehand, and he was at one point he was like cleaning out the fridge in like a break room or whatever, and James Cameron walks in and he was just like talking to someone else about something with film technology, and then he just starts looking at my friend Adam and continuing his like rambling whatever thing and addressing Adam as if Adam had been there for the entirety of the conversation, and then before he was done ranting, James Cameron had left the room.
And then he turns to Adam and he kisses him right on the lips and he's like, "No one will believe you if you tell this story."
That has some I feel like that joke is not one that can exist today.
That took me a second. Yeah, true. People will believe you if you tell this story, and I will go to prison for it.
Well, I mean, you won't go to prison. You just won't be able to make your movies for like a couple years, but then you can come back.
Yeah, he'll come back.
They
he can
always
come back from this.
Oh my God! You heard about the shit where like Louis came back and did some stand-up specials and the audience was like way with him, and how that's not great.
Yeah, no, it was horrible because it was very like he told like some very transphobic jokes, and then he told jokes about the Parkland shooting. Yeah, it was very bad. It was very not good, and everyone loved it. So whatever that tells you about society.
Do you have a rule of thumb about the whole, like, you know, can you appreciate someone's art even if they're a dookie person? Like, do you have a rule on?
Oh, so
what
like
can't enjoy?
Like separating the art from the artist.
Yeah, like my sort of rule of thumb is that like I will not patronize anything of theirs that has come out since I found out they were a mega creepazoid.
Yeah, I have a similar rule. Well, I mean, what your rule of thumb is basically all you can do, right? Like it's like once you know, then like not giving money to that person is like that makes sense. But like also I can't like if it especially this I think the first time this happened for me was when it was back in like 2013, I think, or 2012 or 2014 or one of those years around there, where like all of the YouTubers came out as like not being good people. And Alex Day was like the first person that I was like, okay, I can no longer go back and listen to your music. Like it was like I was like, okay, well I won't like I initially was like you. I was like, okay, well from here on out I won't like pay money or listen to anything that he comes out with next. But then like I tried to go back and listen to those albums, which I fucking loved, and I listened to them and I was like, this just makes me uncomfortable, and I couldn't get through the first song. Like it was like I have a very big issue with separating the art from the artist, because I know like as an artist I know that like art is something that's very, very personal to me, and like I like to think that people who create art, it's very personal to them. So like I feel like by supporting or listening to or partaking in any kind of art from someone who's not a great person kind of makes me feel like I'm, you know, not supporting or validating, but like allowing that kind of behavior to be like okay in my brain, which makes me like horribly uncomfortable. So like I really don't have a rule of thumb when it comes to it, but it's more just like I can no longer do anything that has to do with that person afterwards, because all I can think about is that the fact that they're like a shit person.
Yeah, I think I'm able to do it a little bit with movies, just because I know like this movie is not just that awful person. Like the movie Seven, the David Fincher movie with Pitt and Morgan Freeman that Spacey appears at the end of. Yeah. Like I'm not going to take that away from myself, because it's not just Kevin Spacey's movie. Like Kevin Spacey is the producer or one of the main producers on The Social Network, which is one of my favorite movies. And I'm not going to, I mean, granted also I'm not giving him any more money, because he's not making a dime off of me rewatching the $5 Social Network DVD I bought at Target in 2013. He's not making any profit off of that. But like if Kevin Spacey ever tried to come back and he's like, hey guys, I'm in this new series on a website that doesn't really exist, you know, like how every single website's trying to start a streaming service, he'll just be on like one of those.
Yeah, he'll be, yeah.
I'll say no thank you.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I think that like, you know, if I ever want to rewatch Superman Returns, the only thing I'll be thinking at the time isn't going to be like, oh god, Kevin Spacey, but like also like, you know, with like Bohemian Rhapsody, I haven't seen it yet, but it's not because of the fact that Bryan Singer was involved, you know? Like it's just that like personally I just don't have a ton of interest. But like I remember when it came out and I was like a lot of people were like, man, fuck Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'm like, yeah, fuck Bryan Singer. But like a lot of other people, like films especially now, are like hundreds or thousands of people putting their heart and soul into something, and to take like just one person out of that equation and be like, I'm not going to support these thousands of people because of this one person, feels kind of shitty. Like I totally respect like people's like moral and ethical reasons for doing it, but like for me personally, like being a part of the industry and knowing how much work goes into something like that, it's tougher for me to be like, you know, no, I don't want to listen. I don't want to like watch this movie because one person is problematic. But like it's also it's the one person that you know is problematic. You know, there's probably other people that do other shit that just aren't as famous and aren't going to come out as like being shitty.
That is very disturbingly true.
Yeah, but like when it comes to something like music, where it's like, you know, especially when an artist writes their own stuff and performs their own stuff and produces their own stuff, that is something that's like, okay, this one person put their time and effort and energy into this, and this person is not someone that I want my brain to associate with, so it's much easier for me to like cut that stuff out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Doctor.
Yeah. And now a moment of silence.
And now a moment of silence as we begin idle chatter.
Oh no. Why do you keep going back to idle chatter? Why do you love it so much?
I don't know. There's something I have such a very clear image of what idle chatter is in my head.
I mean, you know, if they're filming it, there's definitely a fern on the table.
Absolutely, there's a fern, but I don't.
There's two middle-aged people talking with their glasses halfway down their noses, and they're reading off of a piece of paper for their notes the entire time.
I like to imagine idle chatter as sort of an art piece where they record the podcast and then they go to like NYU. They're like, we'll give you $500 if you go out and just kind of shoot B-roll that sort of kind of matches this, and then we'll put like some light jazz underneath it.
That's an idea.
Literally, like they pay an NYU student to go and shoot like a 10-minute, very slow zoom in shot on like someone eating a sandwich on a park not Times Square, fucking the big park, the big one, the big boy park,
Central Park.
Yeah, the big park. That's it. Thank you, big boy park.
Yeah, you're welcome. Big park, big middle park,
big middle park.
Man, you know, there's nothing I love more than playing Spider-Man PS4 and swinging around big middle park.
Gotta love that big. The thing I love about that park is that it's very big. The other thing I love about that park is right in the middle.
It's right in the middle, man.
It's exactly where you want it. Because if it was off to the left, then that name, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, why would they call it Big Middle Park if it wasn't big and in the middle? But like one of the things that I definitely want to do at some point when I visit Big Apple City is I want to go to that Big Middle Park. And I want to go to Big Middle Park Zoo.
Dude, you gotta go to Big Middle Park Zoo.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I was just looking at my desk and I was like, why the fuck do I have a jar of sand?
Cool.
Took me a minute to remember why I have this jar of sand, but I have a jar of sand and it's in my hand now. I'm just sort of playing with the jar of sand.
Can I tell you a really dark joke that I just came up with in my head?
Christ, go for it.
I was looking at my desk and I was like, why do I have this jar of sand? And I was like, oh yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, sweet Pappy. You are you are as white now as you were in life.
Oh, duh, those are my dad's ashes. Oops.
This is sand that I stole. I stole this sand from a national park.
Oh, wow. You know, some people just don't know how to live on the edge like you.
That's true. I'm a pretty rebellious guy. I went to a place that is entirely known for its sand, and I took a little bit of it.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't know how much like theft is involved in that, honestly, because it's like you can find like gift shops next door to like mostly every beach, and they will sell tiny jars of sand from that beach.
Right, but this is a spot that they're specifically like, hey, please don't take our sand.
And then there's like fine print, and it's like, because the beach shop across the street has all the rights to the sand.
Oh, heck, I hadn't even considered that. I've infringed upon the sand copyright.
Sand copyright. There's a joke in there somewhere, but...
I know, I'm circling it too.
Yeah. Copy white beaches.
That's nothing.
No.
Fuck.
You know, I'm just going to say it, Jason. The podcast's over.
Damn it. Well, guys, it's been a great run. Snow, thank you for the music.
This is our longest running podcast ever.
When this episode comes out, yep.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, dude, it's so fucking exciting. You know what happens when this, like, the day that we're recording this episode is the day that the first episode drops.
I know, I'm very, very excited about that.
I'm so nervous. I don't know what's gonna
What are you nervous
happen.
about? What are you nervous
I don't know
about?
what's gonna happen. It's so interesting. I've never like I've never had like something that is like I'm like this excited to drop because it just feels, I don't know. It feels a little different, and I'm very excited to see what happens with it.
Justin, I'm just going to tell you the same thing I used to tell my ex-girlfriend whenever we would go somewhere and there'd be new people. I'd say, don't be nervous. They're going to love you, and they're going to tolerate me.
It's something. I have too many dark jokes that I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to get canceled in the second episode of our podcast.
We've dragged this podcast into the dark, deep stuff already.
Have we? I mean, we've talked about some, like, I don't know. We haven't talked about, like, dark shit.
I called you a whore like 5 times.
Yeah, is that dark, though?
I don't know. I don't feel like I should have done it. I mean, I did it, and I own it.
I did make a very dark joke about your very alive dad's ashes sitting on your desk.
My very alive dad. Yes, my father, very alive at this moment.
I would love if he had a business card that was like, Jim Pauly, very alive.
I could see him doing that. He's always been a big proponent of like, get business cards, good business cards. And so I would love to see like somewhere tucked away on his like very alive, just because he's like, well, I mean, I don't know if they knew.
Yeah.
How can you know if that's not on a card?
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. Sorry, I have to do a big stretch. I'll be right back in a second.
Sure.
I'm back.
That's a great sound you've made.
It was a good stretch. I want to start getting into like calisthenics a little bit.
What do you mean by calisthenics?
I don't know. I just like the word.
It's a great word.
It's like stretches and shit to like help your body.
Oh,
It
well,
helps,
okay.
like-
So a moment ago, you were talking about my dad. Made me think about family stuff. Can I tell you? I meant to tell you this on the phone last night, but I figured I'd save it for today. Can I tell you that my bubby, which for those who don't know is the Jewish word for grandma, but also the perfect way to describe what my grandmother is, bubby. Can I tell you about the crazy bananas shit she did?
Do you want to save it for the next episode?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Uh-oh. We've got a cliffhanger on our hands.
Oh no, his hands are slipping. Oh no, Elijah Wood, his hands are slipping. And so are Macaulay Culkin's.
The only way. What the fuck is that a reference to?
The good son.
What a topical reference.
Dog, everyone's on that Macaulay Culkin grind right now.
Oh, that's true, man. Macaulay Culkin's back and better than ever.
Here are things I know teens today like. Timothy Chalamet, Snapchat, Macaulay Culkin.
It's those sick-looking skinny white boys that get all the girls in a tizzy.
Most skinny white boys don't get it, but Timothy Chalamet, he can get it.
To stop, who do people like? Elijah Wood, sure, why not? Macaulay Culkin, Timothy Chalamet. The only way to stop all of these sickly-looking white boys that you love, is to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, like this video, and come back next week to hear Jason's story about his bubby.
Timothy Chalamet is the only person I've ever seen who does look sick, but also great.
It's yeah, I'll agree with that.
Have you seen any Chalamet pictures?
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen Lady Bird?
Oh, yes, I have.
I did not like Chalamet.
I didn't like Lady Bird.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was
feels
boring.
really like a Justin picture.
It was 0% a Justin picture. I thought it was very boring, and the ending disappointed me.
Whoa! Now this is an M. Night Shyamalan twist I did not see coming.
I think that like my problem is that like I really enjoy slice of life movies when they're a little tiny bit more stylized than that. Like when they do have like an ending.
Yeah, sure, I hear you.
Lady Bird has a very like Hulk movie ending where it's just like the shot of him like walking down a street trying to hitchhike. or whatever, or when he's just like walking down a long street. It's like one of those endings that just bugs me, where it's like, okay, but like this didn't wrap up what I wanted to see. Like, can we finish, please? Because like they tried to do the whole thing where it was like, but like there's no true tied up clean endings in life, and it's like, okay, fine, but like this is a movie and it's not life. That's the point of a movie. I wanted to watch a story unfold, not like if I wanted to watch someone's life, I would do what I do on weekends, which I can't disclose publicly because I'll get arrested.
Yikes. This is a new development that in our very long phone call we had last night, you did not mention once any crimes.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Well, big government listening.
Yeah, big government listening.
I like to imagine that there's someone at the NSA that, like, with every new podcast, someone has to, like, be the one to listen to it. And so the idea of someone's like, oh, great, another one. Love this job.
Do you think both of our FBI agents are listening and they've fallen in love?
God, I sure hope so. You mean the ones that are tailing us?
Yeah, the ones that are, because you know like the meme, right? About like, well, you don't know memes. You've never been on the internet.
No, of course I don't know memes. Jesus Christ, I live in a shack.
Yeah, about like how like the person who's looking at you through your webcam is like and like is like tapping your phone and whatever. It's like it's the meme is that like everyone has one specific like FBI agent.
That's a great meme.
It's just like there are memes where it's like, someone's tweeting about how they're sad, and then like, well, the picture will be like a tweet about how someone's sad, and then at the top it'll be like a notification that you got a new text from FBI agent, and it says like, hey. Or like like stuff like that, where it's just like your FBI agent is like your guardian angel looking out for you. That one tickled you a little bit, didn't it?
That one really tickled me. I'm so thoroughly unplugged from that part of the social internet that like my brother, every couple of days, like when I'm getting ready for bed, he will just come into my room, sit on my bed, and be like, all right, I have your Twitter briefing. And he just reads me like all the funny shit on Twitter that I didn't have to. It's literally perfect because I don't have to sift through all the garbage. Jared can just give me those sweet golden nuggets that he knows I'll love. Like this great one that someone posted about how like they're at the library and the clerk's like, all right, you have $341 in late fees. And then me whispering, Waldo's really hard to find.
I love memes. They make me smile.
I very much wish you know what? I feel bad for throwing that one out there because I can't give credit to the person who posted that because I don't have any idea who it is.
Sounds like you don't have a lot of integrity.
Nope, I certainly don't, but I have enough integrity to be very, very clear that is not my joke because I've never been that funny.
Jason's not that funny. He confirmed it by...